Hey guys, welcome back to D&D with Filthy and Friends. We are... Is that the European fuck you symbol or something, Kevin? I'm sorry, I don't know what we've done wrong. Here we are back. We are... Recap of last episode. Dolphin learned about cover. Thaddeus learned about dodge. And we learned about low resource fighting. So, it's exciting. We're all still alive, although some of us have been entertaining what it would be like putting your toe in the water of death, I guess is one way of thinking about it. So here we are. We've killed the scrubby crab crustacean people and the bugbears who are apparently allied with them. And what do we have, Adam? What is this room?
So, yeah, you guys are stood in basically like the bugbear's lair, right? So raggedy sort of beds, things like that, and there's like a bar to the sort of see where that sort of white dotted line is. 2 seconds. Yeah, it is a. No, that's the wrong one. God damn it. Yeah, there's a long wooden table in the middle of the room, copper fittings. It's quite cool. A larger drawing room to the north looks like someone's bed. Is that the right one? No.
18.
18?
We're headed north. We're gonna go north. So, in fact, I'll poke my head up there now if it makes it easier.
Sure. Okay. So you guys go into the other room above.
Wait, did we get a description of 18 here?
Yeah, he did it when we entered it. It was, remember the places where like ovens had been removed or something, stoves had been removed.
Yeah, there's a flea-infested straw pallets on the floor. There's a water barrel, a cask of provisions, an arrow slit that looks out to the hallway to the east. The ceiling is 20 feet high. There are 10-foot-high loft, which covers the west half of the room. Yeah, so that's what that line represents. Is there's a loft that's like 10 foot above.
What's the loft about?
That's all it is. That's what it says. So there's nothing like up there or stored up there or anything. It's just like a raised bit above.
Sure.
Okay. So this room is... Where are we? So you get the general impression this looks maybe like a workshop. Parts of this chamber are buried in piles of crumbling masonry, but enough remains intact to serve as an arcane workshop. There's a long wooden table in the middle of the room, which is littered with pieces of complicated apparatus involving a large glass tank, copper fittings. There's some piping, a leather carrying harness. There are shelves full of alchemical reagents on the south wall. The air in here is very cold, and there's a chill mist that sort of clings to the floor. A large adjoining room to the north looks like someone's bedchamber, and there are doors that lead in all the directions you can see.
Okay, I think we want to do a couple things. I think we would like to attempt to short rest as we're doing this. We'd like to search the corpses and bodies of the creatures we've killed, as well as the rooms that we're entering into. We're looking for the general assortments of any sort of adventuring goods, as well as anything that the cultists might have left behind about any purpose or anything like that. Internal communications, missions, guard duties, anything like this of interest.
Okay, so
I
as you
want to
guys
know what the mystery is in room 16, if I can see any instructions for that as well.
Okay.
So as you guys explore the newest room you've just entered into, you can see a small iron chest that you have a key for. Inside you find 260 silver pieces. You find 22 platinum pieces. There are several unsigned letters reporting on different events that have been happening in Red Larch that you guys have been aware of. And there's also some handwritten missives about your arrival, where you've been going, who you've been interacting with, people you've fought. The handwriting is an unusual mix of block letters and script that you can tell.
Sniven was a double agent.
I autograph it. Tim.
Can we... Adam...
Sniven has been giving our whereabouts to these people right along. No wonder it's been so easy.
I don't think it was Sniven, guys. Sniven wouldn't betray us. There's not a chance it was Sniven. Can we get any sense from the missives or those write-ups what the perspective is? Does it have knowledge that would be internal to us, like any sort of our motivations or our strategy, or is it just kind of like they were encountered on the road?
It's like
the northern fort has fallen. Shit, what is it?
Group arrives in Red Larch. Group begins searching for delegation. They have found out about the spire. They have attacked. They've been attacked by the different cults. Sort of stuff. So it's almost like a step by step of everything. Well, not everything you've done, but some of the big important things you've done throughout the campaign. As if someone's been kind of following you and reporting on what you've been doing.
Do we learn anything new from that? Like, does it say like party discovered the forge of the blah blah blah, like that stuff that we are not immediately aware of?
Really? No, everything sort of seems as you've already deduced.
So we've got some sort of invisible fucker following us around or spying on us or scrying on us or something. We will have to think about, I mean, clearly now is not the time for it, but when we leave this dungeon and start thinking about what we need to resupply with, we need to figure out how to slow that down or limit the effectiveness of them spying on us, because that's too much information for them to have.
I'm making an insight roll to see if it's the new guy who's been spying on us.
I'll assist.
Does he seem sort of suspicious?
Has the hag turned him?
The new guy.
I don't want Chakolth to assist.
I don't care.
The new guy wouldn't know all the stuff prior to.
Yeah, well, that would have been an investigation roll. Which
If I was a spy,
I'll assist.
So
I smile
bearing in
at
mind
them.
that these things didn't actually affect you, Dolphin, how does your character react to the knowledge that these three have basically been spied on? Not you yourself, because you weren't part of those events. So how would you?
My immediate response to the fact that they're just finding out that they've been spied on is the fact that I immediately figure out that they're going to start blaming me, or at least assuming that I'm the spy. I'm trying not to escalate the situation with them. I mean, for all intents and purposes in my head, these guys are the heroes. They're able to just come in and save my life, and help get me out of here. But at the same time, I'm smart enough to, know how to play my cards and say, I kind of turn to them and smile and go, oh, no, me? No.
In that voice?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I say it in roughly that voice. I mean, I'm trying to essentially make light of the situation, but just, be congenial about it.
No,
So Tim can tell it's like a hearty little joke. And Chakolth's kind of like, but maybe.
Yeah, but I engage him in conversation about it anyways. I say, it doesn't seem likely based on this that, tell us a little bit more about how you came to be down here in that time frame. I know we've heard it, but I'm just trying to fit it in with where you were while these events were happening.
I was traveling in the area. We had just stopped off by the night by the river, and I was totally not spying on you. Last I remember, I was doing water walking tricks for locals to get free drink and food. And before I know it, the cultists with their symbols came in the night and abducted us all. That's the last I remember of it. But totally not spying on you.
Totally not.
Totally not.
Not even a little bit?
I can tell you in full faith that not even the slightest amount of spying.
Barbarians aren't known for their espionage anyway.
I'm not a barbarian.
I suppose it makes sense.
I'm not a barbarian. And I'm not a spy.
It's a lot
Mr.
of
Scar.
nuts, Dolphidius. What are you?
Pick one thing to disagree with right now. Once we've established that isn't true, we'll start to work on the other.
I don't know who the spy was, but we can find out together.
All right. Well, Tim, I know this expedition is under your leadership, but my suggestion would be to perhaps make it out of this area. Spend a little bit to these new wounds.
Oh, you've had enough, have you?
Head out, resupply, and come back. There's a lot left.
I know I got pretty fearsome in that last fight. Now you're all okay with that, right? Sometimes, a lopped off head here, a knee joint there. It can get a little bit hazy who's who in battle. I hope I didn't hit any of you, but if I did, I'm sure you'd understand.
I use minor illusion to create small earplugs of noise that just hums in my ear as Tim talks.
So Is there is there anything about these glass backpacks? Any blueprints? Anything we can tell what they're for? There's a bunch of alchemical stuff here. Or
Is there anything of value in the alchemical stuff? As we're looking through
it. Both of you, actually.
I don't even have investigation. I have no idea what I'm doing.
So, yeah, Thaddeus, you have no idea what they're for. They just look like really good ways to carry dwarven beer around. And you think that's an excellent idea. And you would definitely suggest that as a method of, getting drunk. Timmy finds 2 potions of healing.
2 potions of healing. Score.
I look at those earnestly.
Tell us about the spying.
I will look at Dolphin, and in the way I would approach a wild and feral beast, I will tentatively hold out a potion of healing to him.
I walk up to him completely normally at first, but as I see him acting kind of strangely, I begin kind of looking hesitant and strangely. So as he's hesitantly handing me the potion, I'm hesitantly taking the potion from him and backing away and nodding in approval and thanks.
I bow.
I bow back just because I assume that's the right thing to do, not because that's something I would do at all.
I don't.
It is good to learn about each other's cultures, barbarian from the east.
I smile as I smile, and as I step back, I notice there's some blood that's still coming in from room 18 from the bloodbath that Tim left behind. So I quickly use, as I'm trying to be polite but back away, I use prestidigitation to kind of clean off some of the blood as I'm backing away from Tim.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now what?
Let's leave this place. Resupply, rest, heal, figure out a plan, and come back.
I want to take that paperwork with us and see if we can figure out who in Red Larch is talking about us, because I'd like to run a hammer through them.
Sure.
And were we looking for delegation members down here? We were tracking bugbears. So this seems to be like the bugbears went to the fort above, and then maybe they came through the channel below. Could we maybe look and check to see if there are more bugbear tracks leading to the west through the grate?
Yeah, we can certainly do that while we're here. I'm
I'm
willing to go into more combat if you want to push further, but I suspect that this is a good spot. I feel my hesitation before has been.
There's more combat around here
Really?
without going into an entire extra area.
Yeah.
Well, while
have
they're
to
having
go
this
into
conversation
obviously
about
places.
strategy, I'm looking down and kind of like gesturing towards the javelins that are still coming out of my chest.
Tips
And I
that are
just
in
put
you.
Yeah,
like a-
just the tips. They've been broken off, but you
Just
know.
a calming hand, like hold on, we'll get to your javelins.
Yeah, so I would say let's peek down corridor 20, then run along the south edge of the lake here, past. There's some sort of weird landing off.
We could take the boats here.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Grab
Unless
the boat that-
they're trapped or dangerous or something.
Yeah, we could head back to our boats. That's fine too. We could just take it's just a run back to where our boats are.
We've
Fair
got to
enough.
take the treasure too. There's an entire chest of treasure we need to.
I don't think we can
Row out.
move.
I don't know if we're gonna get that this time.
Yeah, I also have a suspicion that might be.
Well, let's take our glass backpacks and fill them up with coins, and at least we can get some of it.
We did tell the troll to go sleep in where the dragon was, the turtle dragon, which is of course where the treasure chest is.
Yeah, and we can explain to him that now the other part of the dungeon's quiet. I'm sure he'll understand.
He seemed amenable before.
The major treasure chest is up in the place where the Morden hammer was. We emptied the
Yeah.
dragon treasure chest.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
We pulled it ashore and
maybe we're loaded down with loot. Regardless, we want to be loaded with loot because there's
Yes.
plenty of loot to take out. So we want to carry as much money as we can.
So what do you say we go have a... Is there anything else to do up where we are? Any other searches we can do? Anything else?
Well, I mean, I guess we could go over this place with a fine-tooth comb, but I kind of think we probably do that after we clear the rest of it. In the sense, like, I don't have a sense. I don't really imagine that wounded, low on supplies, low on resources, and unsure of what's beneath us, we would then spend the next like 2 weeks combing every wall with like,
Right.
like, looking for secret
Tink,
doors.
tink,
Yeah.
tink.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, no.
And just for my benefit, what's north of room 10 there in the northeast corridor? So at the very top of the map, is that path? Just
Yeah,
looking at
we
me?
don't know.
passage.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know. Okay.
Yeah, long passage somewhere. There's one to the southwest, and then there's the stairs down. For your benefit as well. And I think our characters talked to you about this cult a little bit. When we were dealing with the Earth cult had a very dangerous dungeon. So they were in a monastery. Beneath the monastery was the lair of the Earth cult kind of thing, and then beneath the lair of the Earth cult was stairs descending into some dark, fucking, super dangerous area. And
Okay.
it's possible that this is a similar setup. There
Got
seems
it.
to be a lot of ancient magic and ancient kind of structures beneath these surface dwellings.
Okay. Got it.
Were there any papers over in Gar's quarters? I assume that up in the northwest, like room 27, that's Gar's quarters, right? I don't think we've read much about Gar, really. We just killed him. But he doesn't have, like, journals or papers or
You could tell that
missives.
was somewhere that a lot of people lived, so not just him. That was like a place that 8 people slept in. So you
Gar
wouldn't really
wasn't-
think that was one person's quarters.
Yeah.
So maybe
we
he lives
didn't
down
find
the
anything in there.
stairs, or maybe he lives in this room that we've just been in. It seems too plain. He probably lives down the stairs.
It's quite possible, but I don't want to go down there
Yeah.
yet. I'm just dubious
Well,
about it.
I'd like to send my owl to have a look down the stairs. We can like be hanging out a long way away from there, but I'm curious what there is, if it's a huge area or if it's like a couple of rooms.
And I'd like to go back to the tunnel to the west here and
I'll look around.
have a look around.
We want to be grouped up as we're doing this because there is still a guy on a shark and there is still a troll.
Yeah.
Well, you were going to send your owl without going all the way there, true?
So what is it you're specifically looking for, Kevin?
I wanted to rehear the description and then decide what to do about it, whether we're going further.
So a crudely built iron gate that looks like it is a new addition to this ancient dungeon blocks the passage. There's a heavy chain and padlock that secure the gate, which you now have the key for, which you found from that caster in the previous battle.
So this is a similar gate and new key as was guarding the basement in the other.
Well,
Similar, I suppose, yeah.
I mean, I really like this owl in this scenario because I don't want to go somewhere, but I would love to know what's down here. We could unlock the gate and have Tim send his owl down here too. There's no reason not to do it, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You want to unlock it and just let him...
Sure, but let's let him do the downstairs first because that's where he's sending it, and then we can do this one right after, right? Or it makes no difference the order, so sure. Which one,
All right.
Tim? Which one are you doing first?
I suspect we're actually going to have to follow the owl over to 28 because there's an awful lot of doors that are closed.
I need to know. Where's 28?
The stairs down.
Well,
How about we take these boats and there's a guy riding a shark.
yeah, I guess I'd rather on foot than by boat.
Yeah, but there's a troll under the bridge.
No,
So
he went somewhere else, right?
He's sleeping in the
I
lake.
told
as
him
far
to
as we
go
know.
by the temple. Well, I told him to go by the temple. You guys may have told him something else.
I thought it was by 21.
Hmm.
Oh, the
I said go where the dragon turtle is, and you
Yeah,
said
that's what I
there
remember.
is also.
Well, we can handle the troll. The troll was the most
We can't
friendly
handle the
troll
troll.
I've ever
There
encountered in my
is
life.
a room with water below us.
Oh shit! Yeah, there is. God, could this?
And does the owl get the impression that this is like a huge space?
For fuck's
or...
sake. Okay, whatever. I'll just read it. A waterfall gushes out of the wall of this large cave, filling a swirling pool and then coursing through a passage to the north. A winding footpath follows the rushing stream. In addition to the stream's passage, there are stone stairs leading up into a passage of dwarven stonework to the north, and cave mouths to the northwest and southwest. This is what the owl sees.
So I feel like this is a huge cave system, and this is another.
So there's an underground.
part of it.
There's a layer of lake below us. That's down the stairs.
Yep.
Cave mouths to the northwest and southwest. Does that mean leading into a cave or leaving out of a cave? Like, can we see outside through those?
How long is your owl going to spend down here?
Not long. I'm not going to go more than 100 feet from the bottom of the stairs.
Then you won't get any more information.
Oh, wait. Well, that's somewhere to check out at some point.
We got a lot of somewheres to check out.
Let's get the fuck out of this
Yeah.
stupid dungeon thing. I'd like to see the sun again.
Yeah.
What about
It's been at least 15 minutes since I was last outside.
what about down 20 here? No.
Yeah, Ala down that way.
So what do you want to know?
What do we see down 20 when the owl flies down that corridor?
If we open the gate and let the
Oh, I
owl
see. Right, okay.
fly down, flap down that way and flap back, whether that's
Okay, so similar to the northeast passage, this is a very long corridor that seems to lead to another large area similar to this.
Holy crap. These cultists, there's like more
So you got
cultists
one-
in this area than there are people.
One to the north, one to the west, one below you.
right.
And presumably two more, a fire and an air somewhere.
All right. So if we get in the boats, they're at 19.
Do you think if we just did something completely unrelated to these cultists, they'd come get us?
Yeah.
Sort of get the vibe that they're a little bit obsessed with us. Maybe we should play a little bit more hard to get. There was the guy who wanted us to look after the tavern. Could be nice to have some shore leave.
Well, I certainly
Long
agree.
time at sea for new pirates.
I certainly would like to go back to town for at least a little bit. I don't know that we can leave. I don't know that we want to let the cult make their own conclusions, get together, get sorted and organized enough to like organize assaults on us. That sounds kind of terrible. I like the idea of keeping them off their own, to be pushing our momentum as opposed to letting them come to us.
Well, and don't forget that there are still members of the delegation that have been captured and held while we waste time flapping around in the damp cult.
Yeah.
It's okay. We saved like 2 or 3 of them, and this barbarian seems great. I think
Thank
that's a decent salvage, really.
And I mean, on another set front, we have killed probably over 100 heathens down here now, right? Not followers of Murden's name.
It is a valuable job we've done, but there are more to save.
You remember room 7? One of my favorite rooms. The double, like, the sliding, like, guard doors where the double fireball inside, close the door and watch everyone become incinerated in there. We've fond memories of this place is what I'm getting at.
And to clarify, Thaddeus, we kill them because they're evil, not just because they don't follow Moradin. Is that correct? Or
Well, I mean, the line blurs.
We only slay those that are evil. Heathens like our friend Barbarian here. There's no need to kill him yet.
I look annoyed and relieved at the same time.
Chakolth does seem like he might be evil, though.
I have this similar concern.
I will continue this conversation with Thaddeus out of earshot of Chakolth.
So can we get in the boats and float along the southern edge of the lake just to see that it doesn't continue?
We want to make sure there are no ambush predators in the southern area of the lake
Yeah.
by floating through it.
Yep.
Which bit?
Is that a bad choice?
Like,
Can you finger for
I
me?
think it's fine. It's fine.
You got any more of those
Like
owls?
this. We want to
Yep.
check the landing.
Actually,
You want
The owl could
You want to
float
sail
Yeah.
that way.
No, we don't want to
Yeah.
sail that way. No. We want to fly that way with an owl.
there. Yeah, that's a better idea.
We want to know what's here.
In all
and
cases,
there.
we can do just with the owl
Roll,
first.
Why do we even need a party? We can just use the owl.
Yeah, we should arm
Oh,
the
perception.
owl.
Yes, it's fine.
Seems fine. Seems fine.
Seems fine.
What?
You hear that, everybody? The owl says seems fine.
Let's go home. I'm sure Sniven has a nice meal cooked up.
Yeah, or
Wait.
the children slaves that we left up there.
So we cannot see the southern.
No.
The owl says seems fine.
That's right.
I was paraphrasing on the owls.
Those were his exact words.
Can I investigate the boats just to make their ship shape?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, of course,
you know-
they're ship
you know-
shape. What other shape would they be? They're not
Skeleton.
tree-shaped, are they?
You know that two of them are fine. And
With that,
one
can
of
I do insight instead of investigation?
You know that two of them will be fine, and one of them requires about an hour's work to be, usable.
Okay.
But it's not. I'm worried about the boat. I'm not worried about drowning to death because the boat sinks. I'm worried
You're
about
not.
drowning to death because of the tentacled water monster beneath us. So I don't know that patching up the boat really does much for me. I don't want to float across 2 and 3 and I kind of want to see what's in
Okay,
the southern
we'll go
area,
back
but
to the
yeah.
boats at number 1.
Yeah.
Chakolth makes a good point. He's a coward and wouldn't want to be close to the enemy.
That's right.
Let's remove to our original boats.
And did you send your owl to the strange landing?
Yeah, he just now reports everything's fine.
Did you do that?
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Say seems fine again. That's great.
Yeah, I like that too.
How do you say it?
Damn it.
Okay. A dank, rotten smell pervades. Well, I guess you wouldn't get that. The floor is perforated by 8 small pools, each about 3 feet wide and filled to the brim with black, stinking water. Black water. Several large stones lie on the floor near the pools, each wrapped several times around by length of old rope. A symbol is painted on the southern wall, a shape like an X with the bottom limbs linked by a horizontal line, which you all recognize. Which you would recognize too.
And there's a tunnel to the west of that as well. Good God. This is the biggest... Oh, it's a room. There's 2 snipers in there.
So as the owl flies in, it can see 2 ghouls just sort
It
of
flies away.
looking at the wall.
Well, it's clearly not safe for habitation down here quite yet. We have to murder some more creatures beforehand.
Can we carry one of those other boats with us over here and then load it with gold? I'm just familiar with my companions, and I'm not sure we're actually coming back here particularly soon, and there's a lot of gold.
You want to roll survival?
Yeah.
Sure. No. The boat
How
sinks,
does
you
survival
die.
help us?
The owl goes, it's fine.
You try to make,
Thaddeus,
boat,
you've got
like-
survival too.
good enough to harm
Yes.
stuff, but you seem to be sort of suffering. You call for Thaddeus' aid, and he feels like he can sort of sturdy the boat up dwarven style, and it could hold this chest if you wanted to. You could probably
Is
pull
it a
it
stone
along behind
boat?
you.
Because I don't know those work all that well.
He's just a good craftsman.
Oh,
All right, yeah, I want to do that, and then I want to secure the boat with the treasure chest in it to the back of my boat that I share with the barbarian, who I watch very carefully as
Okay.
all of this happens.
Sure.
Y'all get your share, barbarian. In the same way as the healing potion.
You better not get a third.
Okay, that only takes an hour to shore up the boats, get the treasure over here. Was the troll over by the treasure chest when we were up there?
Nope.
We were conscientious. We were careful of loud noises. This was like
Well, as far as you're concerned, the troll is like here.
and this is a no wake zone, right? So we row slowly when we're going out.
We're just conscientious neighbors, really.
Yeah. The sound of silence after we've murdered every living thing in here is something we don't want to disturb.
A slight dripping sound is heard as we row out of the cavern through the tunnel, and the camera pans back to see Gar's head just like hung from the top of the ceiling with rope and blood slowly dripping from his severed neck.
Are we bringing the head back to town? You want to eat?
No, I think he just.
Oh, he left it. Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he got a good use out of it.
Yeah.
I think he left it there as a warning for any cultists that rose back up this channel. I don't know.
Just for the cinematography, really.
Sure.
There was no real purpose. Can we go on the world map just for a second, just so I can see the world map? Like, I feel like I haven't been outside for a very long time.
We've been
I just
want
want
to
to see it.
in here.
Thank
Like,
you.
this is the world. Do you want to see the area you're in?
Thank you so
Yes.
much, Adam.
Yes.
No, this is great. This is fine.
I'd like
Okay.
to see the area we're in again.
I'm just gonna look up in the sky.
I mean, just to sort of remind yourself, you guys, at the moment you have your friend traveling up this road here, up to Mirabar.
Yeah.
You know that he is. Hang on. Where is it? Got it here somewhere. Roll 20. You gonna work? Thanks. So you know that it's about a week away, and he's probably 3 or 4 days in.
Who's
So
our
you've got-
friend going?
That's
to?
all.
Rolthendar. So you've got like another 4 days till he arrives, then whatever happens, and then another week to come back.
Yeah,
Holy smokes!
we've been a long time in real time in that dungeon, but in game time, it's not actually been very long at all.
Well, I've forgotten completely about this guy, but I'm pretty sure that was Thaddeus's domain.
Hmm.
I'm more into smiting the heathens, and he's more into the social dynamics.
And this is where you are now. I don't know if Dolphin's seen this yet, actually. This is the place, like the locale that you're in.
Yeah. Yeah. Where is this place that we're in?
So the keep
Right.
that
It's-
you
right where our
the,
little symbol
the
is.
keep above is where the symbol is. Yeah, it's like here.
All right.
There was a man at the Barge Right Inn who needed somebody to sit at his inn and drink ale for a day or two to unwind and look after things while he went off and ran some errands. It would be great. We take the boats, fill them with the gold, sail down to the Barge Right Inn, buy up on our supplies and everything, get some shore leave, look after an inn. Somebody asks you to look after an inn. They keep alcohol at the inn.
Well, I certainly think I'm certainly up for heading to town. I have no desire to babysit an inn whatsoever. Like, the amount of money we're bringing back, like, what's he gonna... I mean, we could buy the inn with the amount of money we're bringing back. Like, if that was really what we wanted to do. I think we could probably afford to stay there for a night or two, still have all the alcohol we want, but not be obligated to babysit a fucking inn.
But what's it all for, Chakolth? If you're not getting in touch with the common man and helping him with his problems, don't we need to reconnect with the people we're saving?
If he doesn't know I'm casting a spell on him, does he get a chance to roll or resist on it?
You have spell slots still? If I find out that he has spell slots still, I am attacking him.
You're gonna have to keep on attacking him.
If you use a subtle spell, he won't know. That's the only way he wouldn't know.
All right, I'm gonna subtle spell. I'm going to convert my sorcerer points into a level 2 point.
Eldritch.
So hold on, let me just do that real quick. That's 3
Do I
for that.
sense that
Eldritch
he's
Blast.
converting his sorcerer
No,
points
you don't
right
get
now?
to sense that. It's not
No,
something
that's kind of like
sensible.
an innate thing that he just does. That
Yeah.
Just doesn't appear.
And then I'm going to convert another spell slot back into sorcerer points to basically convert 1s into 2s, and then I'm going to subtle cast suggestion on Tim.
Who is standing next to Thaddeus?
Sure. No, I wait till Tim
It's a
has
wisdom save?
I wait until Tim has a moment away from Thaddeus, and then
Tim
cast...
and Thaddeus are inseparable. We have become best of friends.
I'm gonna subtle cast.
So
you
Wisdom
can't
save?
see your way out of this. You cast the spell, you get +1. You fail.
All right, so I'm just gonna suggest to Tim, this is a magical suggestion, and there's because I subtle cast it, there's no visible. I don't have to wave my arms. I don't have to cast anything. It's just this is magically imbued. and I'm just going to suggest to him that a little peace and quiet would go a long way after such a intense emotional experience for the party, and that to respect the grieving process of each of the individuals who came so close to dying, and that just this would be a spiritual retreat as much as a retreat, a physical retreat from the dungeon. And that's all. That's it.
Right, so it's Tavern looking after, I guess. Sounds like a good break.
All right, so we're gonna head down the river. All right, I'll mark that spell slot off. Best use of two spell slot ever. And let's float down the river. I think that's a good plan. Bring the boat. I like the idea of having a boat in our name. We can probably find some mooring for it in the city, so we don't have to bring it with us all the time. But we will have a boat for this river. I think that's a great idea. I think the boat as a method to bringing the gold up and down the river is a pretty good idea too. And we can make decisions when we get to town about what we want to do, right?
And
So
we
which
can
boats?
bring the
Do you take the
people who
small
were stuck
boats?
here,
No, we're
and
taking
we
that
can
big
say
boat.
hi to
You
Sniven.
take this one, yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring Steven back with us. I don't know if he's still here, if he left or not.
So, okay, I'm just going to chop time up a little bit here. So you
Sure.
guys arrive back at the fort. You go inside. You find in the central table, in the sort of central hall, there's a note with a dagger through it, and it's from Sniven. It basically explains how he's taken the refugees that you guys had rescued here to the closest town, and he'll be back as soon as possible.
It's like
Um,
the ink's still wet on this.
No, this is. You could probably gander that he probably did this as soon as he got back. So you guys.
Another
moor-
delegation missing.
moor up,
Track him down and kill him.
move all the treasure into the large boat.
Yeah.
Who is going to be the captain or the sail person?
I'm the captain.
Who's going to row the boat?
This is still technically Tim's. When we were rotating leadership, we didn't realize quite the extent that we were signing
Okay.
over our rights on this one.
I have led us to this life of piracy, and I shall take it upon myself to hold responsibility for this boat. All on this boat are under my protection.
Does the suggestion make him any more quiet?
Not really. You kind of just suggested something he was already in the mood to do, I believe, from the way Steve seems to be.
As Chakolth sits on the boat, I'm going to sit next to him and very loudly exclaim, "Isn't it great to get some peace and quiet? It's just the serenity here, the time you get to spend alone with just your own thoughts. Really unpack things emotionally, you know."
I
I'm going
do-
to slap him really hard on the back.
I do get fireball next level, Steve.
So, I hate you all.
So John,
Whoops.
do you fall off? Does he fall out of the boat?
Hang on.
What
Do the other
happened?
one. Do the other one.
The other one?
Okay. So you see Tim swagger up to grab the big wheel of the ship as you all sort of prepare to sail out of
Big
the
wheel.
keep,
Yeah.
the keep that you're in, and
Did we long rest before this?
No.
no,
No?
absolutely.
All right.
not.
Incredible.
Tim,
All right.
Tim talks about the plan on where you're going to sail and the route you're going to take down the river, and that seems absolutely perfect and impeccable. And then as you as you bring the sails up and he sort of spins the wheel, you immediately crash into the wall on the east side. It's not like you weren't moving very quickly, so it's just kind of like like a big bump, and it goes, where it grinds along the wall.
So I am the one who...
And you do that like
very
for the
bad.
whole, you do that for the whole thing. Like those awkward scenes in movies when you see something like that happen. It grinds all the way along the wall, and then he spins the wheel, and you actually kind of eventually come out of the keep and start sailing down.
Well done, Tim. You'll learn.
And Tim just looks perfectly proud, as if that was all planned. And
Right, there we go. Got to leave your mark on I hope you guys left a bit of scat there too.
No, I believe it's in my pants.
Yeah, I suppose so. Do dwarves generally know how to swim?
If you sink me, I will kill you before I drown.
so you are here
Hey!
in a boat
All right,
full of treasure.
floating down the river at about 2 HP each. We did have a short rest, but not a long rest. Did anyone want to roll HP dice during that short rest?
Shoot, yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Because that was when we were searching. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I'd do a couple too. I'm gonna do 2.
It's like 2 hours out of the cave, and then we have to read the note and make the boat sail worthy and load it and stuff. So what is it, like afternoon, Adam?
Yeah, so I'll say, well, what? I don't know, 3 o'clock.
And the boat, I assume, doesn't sail so fast that we could get down to the barge ride in before nightfall. So we're going to want to head on down the river a bit and then anchor.
I guess I'm going to need to now work out boat speeds. Thank you. I'll do that in between.
No. Yeah,
I am at the wheel.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure our boat is like we're pretty inadequate.
I don't know. You're
sailors.
in a pretty well,
and it's a pretty big boat, and probably what's actually bringing us down the river is probably the current.
Well,
much
the
as
moment
anything else.
you've like the way I've treated it at the moment is you haven't actually sailed out into the river, because I think in between these 2 sessions I'm going to have to work out how a party of 4 adventurers that have never sailed before are going to sail a giant boat down a river and see what that beautiful set of dice rolls brings.
Are you sure that I've never sailed before?
Well, you might have
sailed
done
before.
a little.
All right.
I've never been on anything bigger than a fishing boat.
But that sounds then, for what I'm gathering, that this would be a perfect spot to cut the part. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm really glad we got a chance to have a sober, normal element of our main campaign again. Looking forward to also, I mean, I had a blast with that dungeon, but I'm also looking forward to being out of that dungeon for a minute. We've been there a number of weeks, I think. It's a very, very in-depth dungeon, wasn't it? A lot of stuff in there. So, anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon. And hopefully, we're back to normal next week, right? We're doing.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right.
So.
See you guys soon. Thanks for watching.